In this video, I am going to be talking about what some SA people, victims experience, a lack of empathy, and the people who respond to them in kind, how I feel like they have a deep dislike or disdain for themselves. But before I go into that, I just want to round up on a few things. So I did not post a video yesterday. I recorded one, but I did not post it because it was all over the place, more than maybe some of mine here already are usually. But this one was just too charged with a lot of things that I had been experiencing over the last few days. And I just was like, I'm going to take a beat on this one. And I may do 2 videos on Saturday instead to keep my count on track. But yeah, so I think that was it for the most part. But let me get right into my experience with the video that I mentioned a few videos back about how it had the views had just picked up. So for the most part, the people that commented on it, they were, saying, I'm sorry you experienced this, and sharing, briefly sharing their experience. But yesterday I got 2 comments. One was supposed to be constructive criticism. And I say that with quotation marks because it wasn't really constructive. It was meant to be criticism mostly. And the reason why I said it is, and I hate that I made a mistake and deleted it. I thought I was hiding the comment. And the reason why I chose to hide it was because I was at the dentist's office. So I didn't really have a chance to just sit there and read it like I wanted to reread it. I read through it and I was like, oh, okay. But I wanted to go back and reread it to fully process what it was. So I made a mistake and deleted it, didn't get to take a screenshot and don't know how I can restore it. So I've been looking up ways of how to do that so that I could, I was gonna, how they do the videos where they have like little comments of videos or whatever playing for reference in the video. I was going to try to do that with it so we could just really break it, so that I could just really break down how I felt about that comment. But anyway, so I'm just going to recall it best as I can from my memory about what the comment said. So the comment said, Latrice, I believe everything you said. However, you are a horrible storyteller. And they had horrible in all caps, which was my first indicator that this was not meant to be constructive criticism, just criticism only. And it said, you have too many ums. I just did one. You have too many ums, too many pauses. You have too many gaps in the story. You didn't recall certain things. Keep in mind, the stories that I was telling in that video about my international travel and how I was harassed and almost assaulted was about 15 plus years ago. Almost each of those first 2 events that I referenced were talked about were about 15 plus years ago. And the one from last year, the guy didn't even speak the same language that I spoke. So how am I supposed to recall everything that he said in that conversation when we were both using Google Translate? Whatever. So those are the criticisms. And then I was coughing in the video. Little did I know I was coming down with whatever that was going around. I didn't even know I was getting sick. I thought that my throat was just dry because I was dehydrated and hadn't been drinking enough water. That was a complaint. You need to have water beside you when you're talking. It's okay to have bullet points and an overview of what you're going to be talking about. All these things I already know. All these things I have already mentioned before in a few videos. And I'm not a storyteller. I did not start a YouTube to become a storyteller. Now, I'm not saying that my storytelling skills, or I don't expect my storytelling skills to improve as I do this, but that was not my main goal. My main goal was just to get comfortable with being visible and then allow myself to be as good of a speaker as I am a writer and a thinker. So that was not a comment for constructive criticism. And another thing that let me know that they was not trying to be helpful when they made that comment is that, and this is the part where it gets into lacking empathy. When somebody is recounting something that is traumatic for them, you acknowledge that in a way and you hold in it. You don't just, the first little line that person wrote and the tag, the handle on the comment was a female's name. And so it got me to thinking about, whether it was a female or not, but especially a female, you don't, well, me personally, that's not something that I would do. Like if somebody has lost a child, a parent, or experienced something traumatic, I am not going to do something like that. It's so unempathetic. It's a lack of basic human care. And I feel like people who do that, and I see women, and it shocks me to see women who do that, especially with other women who go through things like that. But people who do that make me think of one or two things. They deeply dislike themselves, or they in some sick way hate that they don't have that experience. Like it's like in the next comment that I bring up, I'm gonna go deeper into why I say that part too. But it's just weird. But after saying all that, I do have to say, whoever commented that, because at first I was just convinced it was a female, and so I talked to my best friend, and it could have been a man. I don't know, just with a fake name. Who knows? But dang, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, so I'm gonna get into that. I hate that comment. I thought about the whole conversation with. Oh, I know what I was about to say. They were telling me the truth. Like, yeah, I am not a great storyteller. I did have too many aunts. I should have had some water. I even said it to myself in the video that, dang, I need some water. So they were telling the truth. And little do they know, I wholeheartedly welcome and appreciate any constructive or really real constructive criticism, because it's all a learning experience, and I'm here to learn. I like growing. I like learning. I don't know whoever it was, or maybe I do. But for the most part, as far as I can tell, I don't know who it was. But either way, I don't know that person well enough to be offended by anything they said. And I always welcome feedback in my comments. Yeah, lay it on me. Yeah, I'm learning. I'm growing. So, yeah. The second comment, and imagine getting this type of feedback on my birthday, but whatever. The second comment was unempathetic, invalidating, and I almost had the handle of it was a woman's name too. It almost made me have that same feeling I felt with when I was telling the guy in HR, if you are familiar with the video that I posted about my international experience when it comes to almost, encountering some things. How he asked me, did what happened really happen? This was the same type of energy this commenter had, because they said, what did they say? And those comments are still up. What did they say? They said that that happens everywhere. Like, to me, the tone behind it was like, oh, okay, so it happened to you, whoop-de-doo. And then they went on to say, unfortunately, I had to experience it myself, which kind of felt like they were saying, big deal. So you was almost most assaulted. That could happen to anybody. Like, it was just weird. It was like, do you think I'm bragging about this? Do you think I'm flattered that I almost was harmed? Like, it's weird. It's giving weird energy. But I noticed, even when the thing with Cassie and Diddy was going on, a lot of women had that same energy, like victim blaming. Like, okay, he did this, but it's just weird. And it made me feel like people like that do not like themselves, because I feel like how people treat you is how they would treat themselves. And if you can't be considerate or handle somebody with care in situations like that, then that is an indicator to me that you don't even treat yourself with care. And after the person stopped commenting, after I kind of told them that, you know, what you're doing is right in the vein of victim blaming. Because they said that they don't understand how I didn't take that as something serious and I was silly for not acting. And I had to point out to them, me going to the office the next day was the action that I took. And the reason why I stated that the reason why I didn't take it serious in that moment, or why I was casually telling the story in that moment, is because I had not yet fully processed it. I specifically stated that. So it's like, you can, and I've said this in a video before, you can tell when people are listening, not really listening, but are more so projecting. Because if you're not projecting your own experience on somebody else, then you can hear all of what they're saying and not make premature comments. So it's just weird. But I left the comments up for two reasons. To let myself know that if I am truly showing up to be seen and to be visible, things like this is going to happen. Things like this are going to happen, and I'm going to have to figure out how to navigate them. And I'll be honest, I didn't navigate this particular situation as best as I would like to, because I did get a little spicy with them. Not too spicy as I could have got, but I did get a little spicy with them with my response. So I left that up as a reminder to myself, like, this is not in alignment with how you would want to respond. So I left it up as a reminder to myself, like, I feel like you can call people up with grace. You can still point out like things, but do it with grace and in a way that, well, hopefully in a way that would get them to reflect and see themselves and want to do better. But yeah, so I just wanted to, talk about that. I was just like, okay, I guess maybe I got a little too excited about the views. Well, no, I didn't. I'm still excited about it. We're at 500 now. That's half of a K. That's way beyond the typical 30, 40, 50 that my videos are usually stuck at. So I'm still excited about it, and continue to share what you think about that video and any other video on this page. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever. I welcome it all. What else? I might do a separate. I am gonna do a separate video about my full thoughts around women who do that to other women in situations like that. Men. So I'm gonna do a video on all that, because it's just like, it's interesting to me. So I don't know if y'all have ever had any experiences like that. If so, please feel free to share it in the comment. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. I have other videos planned to make and talk about, but that one I just kind of wanted to go ahead and discuss. But anyway, if you're new here, my name is Latrice. Here's what I think out loud. Reflect honestly. Name patterns that keep us stuck. If anything here on my channel resonates with you, feel free to take what you need. And if it doesn't, feel free to leave it. And I will be back tomorrow.